Hey guys, Josh from Sportitude here. Today we are going to do a sort of shoe review. Now, I have been doing reviews now for the best part of 2 years, and for those of you that have followed or do follow Sportitude, you'll be aware that I've run in a plethora of running shoes because I do like to wear them before I test them. However, there is always a group of shoes that I will lean towards or I gravitate towards every single season. So what I want to do is give you a bit of a snippet into what I'm currently wearing right now. So we're looking at the first half of 2019. So I have 3 running shoes, and that may sound excessive for those of you out there, but of course I'm in the shoe industry and I have access to all of these. But I'm looking at a mileage shoe. I've got what I classify as my tempo/interval shoe, and then I have a race shoe for triathlon. So the race shoe for triathlon does sort of slip into some of my interval runs as well. So without further ado, I'm looking forward to showing you what I'm currently running in. So let's get going. So first shoe I'd like to talk about is my mileage shoe, and that's a shoe that I clock my longer runs in, and potentially the shoe that I'm going to, over a 3 to 4 month period, will push most of my miles out. And I am absolutely fascinated by the New Balance 1080. So I have used 1080s previously. I loved the version 6 of this shoe. It was one of my favorite neutral running shoes. I fell out of love with the version 7 and version 8. However, there was a lot of runners out there that really enjoyed that shoe. However, for me, it just did not work. And then once the version 9 came around, it was happy sailing again. So for me, I am a slight overpronator, but I do prefer to run in a stable neutral shoe. That's just how I enjoy my long runs. I'm a midfoot striker. So for me, it's really important to get a nice cradled first point of contact with the ground. And the reason I love this shoe is because it's got a plush cushioning system, so you get plenty of dampening underneath your foot. And as I come through to my toe-off phase, it's got a really nice broad forefoot. So I'm using this shoe for longer runs. I'm using this shoe if I need to go for a run in my training week and I'm feeling a bit tired and a bit heavy. I will gravitate towards this shoe because I know the forefoot stability is there for me. So big fan of the New Balance. I have done reviews on all of these shoes, part of me, that I'll touch on, and there'll be links in this video below. So big fan of the New Balance 1080, one of my absolute favorite stable neutral running shoes for 2019. Cool. Next shoe I would like to talk about is my tempo/interval shoe. Now, this sort of shoe is a shoe that I would not grab if I wanted absolute ultimate cushioning. It's a shoe that I feel fast in and I feel efficient in, and it's the Brooks Venna. This shoe right here. Now, by no means is it classified a minimalistic shoe. There's certainly a couple of shoes in this category that are a fraction lighter, like the DS Trainer 24, for example, is a fraction lighter and it has a little bit more of a firmer feel underneath the foot. However, I still like to feel stable, even though I'm looking for a lighter, quicker, snappier shoe. So my contact time in this shoe is reduced by about 20% in comparison to what I'm looking at with my New Balance 1080. And that being the case, because I'm running a fraction faster anyway, so you're going to spend less time in contact with the ground when you're transferring through your gait cycle. Now, this shoe does have guide rails that come into play. So you're probably sitting there thinking that contradicts what I said before. I don't like to run with any sort of stability. So I could use the launch. However, I just felt the Venna was a little bit more comfortable for me. So again, I've lent towards this shoe for my tempo interval runs, because those guide rails play a little bit more of a critical role for me when I'm hitting the ground with more force and more impact. Okay, so when I'm coming down a lot harder and a lot quicker in the shoe, I still like to know that I've got some form of stability. Now, we're not talking dual density blocks by any means. We're just talking those little guide rails that just assist in keeping your foot on a nice consistent footbed. Underneath through here, as I like to harp on really all of my videos for midfoot strikers, full ground contact, love it, it's nice and stable, and a good amount of flexibility and rigidity through that toe box or toe-off phase as well. So the Venna could almost be my race day shoe. I mean, I'm looking to do a potential full Ironman at the end of this year, and this may be the shoe that I will race in for that day. But at the moment, interval tempo shoe, absolutely love it. Fantastic option. Next shoe is my race day shoe for triathlon. Okay, now I do like to feel light in my shoes. However, I've just found previously using a very low profile shoe for me just causes some issues in the last third of my run. Okay, so when I'm looking at a race day shoe, you might think, well, he's got to go light, because the lighter you are, the more efficient you're going to feel. That may be the case for the first half of the run, but let me tell you, if you talk to any triathlete or any sort of road runner out there, a good race day shoe is going to do most of its work when you're fatiguing, okay? When you're feeling sloppy and tight in your gait cycle. And that's why I have lent towards the Dataflight version 3 for the 18-19 season in terms of triathlon. So again, the reason I like this shoe, it's very similar to the Launch. However, it's on a neutral platform, all right? So there's no guide rails that come into play to sit in any specific area. It allows me to feel the ground enough underneath because it's got a responsive layering of cushioning, but it also has a nice dampened feel as well. The other reason I like this shoe for race day is because of the internal heel counter at the back, all right? So it's nice internal structured heel counter. When I jump off the bike, depending on what distance I'm doing in terms of triathlon, I like to still feel nice and stable, especially that first K to 2Ks when you're off the bike and you're feeling a bit wonky. It's really important to keep that foot nice and stable. And when I'm coming down, hitting the ground, I want the shoe to do more in the upper for me. And that's what I found with the Dataflight version 3. Underneath, again, full ground contact. I like that lateral side to give me a nice plush feel with the ground. Okay, so the reason I've gone Dataflight for my race day shoe is it is, I think, marginally lighter than the Venna. Now, I'm going off the top of my head through here. I think it's roughly 250 grams and about 265. So 15 grams, not here nor there. It's not a huge amount, but having that slight reduction in weight without compromising my gait cycle is why I like to use this as a race day shoe. So if I sacrificed 40, 50 grams to get that really light race day feel, I personally just find I lose a lot of support in the back half or the back third of my race when I'm doing triathlons. I still like to feel nice and structured as I possibly can, because let's be honest, in the run leg of a triathlon, the last couple of kilometers are pretty painful. So I still like to feel nice and stable and feel like I can get off that get out of my gait cycle efficiently and effectively. And that's what the Dataflight offers for me right through here. So yeah, it's a bit of a quick, snappy review on what I'm currently running in. And what we'll probably do is every 6 months, I might reintroduce this exact review. So no doubt when we're looking at sort of September or the middle of the back half of 2019, I might have a different mileage shoe, different interval shoe, and then potentially a different race day shoe, because footwear engineering is evolving at a rate of knots, which is great, it's exciting, but in my humble opinion, it's never been the best and the worst time to buy a running shoe. Best because there is so much advancement in footwear engineering. Worse because there is a ridiculous amount on offer. So that's what we do here at Sportitude. We try to reduce that loud marketing noise or the confusion in the marketplace to make the right shoe choice for you, the runner, okay? So hopefully it's been beneficial. I thoroughly enjoy my shoe reviews. So if you've got any questions, any comments, please drop it in the video below. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. And until next time, happy running.